Okay, hello. We're back with part 2 of this interview. So Ella, I really want to get in also to kind of Taylor Swift has a really I think different and special kind of fandom that's different from a lot of other singers. So I really want to ask you about this. So I know that her fans identify themselves as Swifties. So would you consider yourself a Swiftie?
I mean, yeah. I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
at this point.
You have to. Okay. And so so as a Swiftie, do you feel connected with other people sort of in this community, or is it more just like a thing that you identify yourself as?
No, I think it's a really great way to build community. I think I mean, from hopping in a car with people that I maybe don't know as well, and if we
Right.
turn on a Taylor Swift song, we all know it and we all can bond.
Yeah.
I love that. To even, just a bunch of people across the globe who maybe I had very different lives with, and it's so cool that we polar opposite people, totally different backgrounds, we can all come together with one commonality, and I think that that's really cool to get to share this thing and bond, but then also hear their story.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to meet people and exchange stories. It's cool.
Yeah, that's super neat because a lot of my studies I've focused a lot about how Taylor Swift, impacts individual women and how she how she kind of inspires you or another girl, but I hadn't really thought as much about how that inspiration kind of connects the fans together. So I think that's neat that you can sort of find a place where others are like you because of her, but but just by bonding with her music and bonding with, I think that's a super neat thing. So do you notice I know your fans, you're in several different, you like many other artists besides just Taylor Swift, so have you noticed a difference in her fans per se than other fans maybe of other music artists that you're fond of?
Yeah, definitely. I think that she is very much support everyone and just build each other up. And I mean, I remember once I was at Tyler the Creator concert and he was just saying jump on each other, crush each other, and it was just the most wild, aggressive thing ever. And I mean, I'm not too much of an aggressive person, so I was very out of place.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of just one thing that I was like, wow, this is when you see the fandom of very much aggression. But yeah, I think whenever I take to social media and whenever she's posting about an upcoming album, it's just so much excitement and good energy versus sometimes when you look at other artists and things, a lot of fans try to tear opposite fandoms down. It becomes a competition, which is so unnecessary because everyone likes music.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why people feel the need to tear some people down sometimes, and that's why I love Taylor Swift fans, because I feel like they're very supportive of all people, even if they don't like Taylor Swift. You know, it's how do you not like Taylor Swift? But we're not going to fight about it.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. Okay, so that's super neat. And one thing that I've really noticed about Taylor Swift is that she has this brand where she sort of goes through eras, as you may call it. So, she started out as a young country artist, and then she kind of had this transition to a pop artist, where then she went to kind of for a while this dark, sort of more edgy type thing. Why do you think this need for her to change eras so frequently is?
I think that sometimes I think that the media very much labels artists so quickly. And so I think that, one, she's growing up. So her as a 16-year-old is going to be totally different than her when she's 23. But the artist puts everyone in boxes sometimes. And I mean, I think society puts us in boxes. It's very, stereotyped. And the second you put yourself out there, that's what you are and that's what you're labeled as. And I think she switches up so drastically and so quickly because she doesn't want to be seen as a one-sided thing, as a 2D thing. And I think that that's so cool because she shows so many different sides to her personality, because I mean, humans are complex and everyone has different feelings and emotions and personas, but when you're labeled as one thing, it's boring. And so I think when the media starts calling her innocent, naive little country girl, I think it's very, like, admirable that she just is like, nope, let me show you what else I can do, and switches to pop. And then the second the media starts calling her a snake, she's like, well, I'll play into it and I'll be a snake, and then switches to Reputation era. And I think that that's really cool. And I also think that in life, it's like a book, like everyone has chapters and they have different parts of their life and different stories, and maybe where I am as a 30-year-old is it's definitely not going to be where I am right now.
Right.
And so when she has all these different eras and things, it's so many, like, different novels that I can relate to. And I can just, you know, one day whenever I'm feeling, like, really down, I'm like, I'll pull up, like, some more sad time of her life. But then when I'm feeling really, I need to get empowered. So I think that that's really cool. And I also think that she's turned, like, herself into such a brand. And that's why I, like, have so much respect for her on a business side of things, which is usually you don't see that in the music industry. And you don't, like, get to see the behind the scenes of, like, the business and the albums. So I think that her rebranding herself has also been such, like, a business thing, that she has made herself a commodity and herself a brand, but she's owned it. So it's not like she's, like, objectifying herself. She's like, let me show you all of the things I can do. It's like a different movie each time, and it's more intriguing for fans, and it's just another thing we can relate to. And I think it's super cool, for sure.
That's very neat. I like that you kind of hit on the business aspect of it, because it makes, you know, a lot of artists, when you're a kid and you grow up, you're like, I look up to this person because, like, I want to be on a stage with a microphone. Like, I want to be able to sing. But I think it's cool that you can kind of look up to her as, like, a role model in such a way you can be like, I want to be able to create this, like, image for myself of being, you know, powerful, and I want to be able to, you know, have a business that can be so profitable. So I think that's super neat that you can relate in that sense. Okay. So my next question is, have you felt like the need to kind of transition in these eras like Swift has? So obviously there's something that's causing her, you know, the need to want to be able to, like, rebrand herself and change the way that, like, the world kind of sees her. Have you ever felt like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that growing up, and especially in college, I think there's such, like, you're on your own search for your own identity. And so I've definitely, like, I mean, as all people, we've gone through so many different times of our life, because you're just trying to find, like, what fits best with yourself. And so I think definitely in college too, when you're transitioning, and it's, you know, now not only are you, like, on your own, like, you have no, like, you know, safe space to go back to, you're always with people. It's definitely very hard to kind of be secure in, like, yourself. And so I think it's her being so secure in the fact that she's not just this one thing all the time, that she can be all these different people, and that she can have all of these different moments and periods in her life. I think that that's made me more confident in the fact that who I am today does not have to be who I am in 2 months. You know, I don't have to, like, confine myself to one box, to one space. And I think that that's been really cool, and that's been really comforting in college, because it's just such, like, an ambiguous and an overwhelming time that it's nice to know that there can be uncertainty, and I can totally switch up and like, just do whatever I want, you know?
Okay, that's very neat. So, would you say, I think one of the main things about Taylor Swift's kind of, you know, culture and everything is she's super confident in who she is, and she's super confident in her femininity and liking what she likes. And, you know, I think that every girl goes through a time period where it's almost, like, uncool to be a girl, where you're, like, wanting to be cooler to boys and impress boys and things like that. So I think one thing that's cool about her is that she can, you know, really be strong in that. Do you think that she's affected your, like, viewing of yourself as a female in the world? Like, what do you think about that?
Oh, 100%. I think it's very typical to be a girl and to be told and taught that being feminine and being more girly is just, like, a sign of weakness, or a sign that you're not as smart as the boys, you're not as tough as the boys, you know what I mean? But I think that she has definitely taught me that I can just totally be myself and own my femininity and that there's power behind that. Like there is power in being a female. And I think that that's so cool, especially for young girls to be taught, because you know, when you're growing up in kind of the day and age we are right now, a lot of times you're told, like, when you're like in that feminine role, like, you know, you're just seen, you're a girl, go be a cheerleader, you can't play like the sport. And I think when you're taught that, you know, usually like there's only one room and there's only one seat in the room for a girl, you know what I mean? Like there's only one seat. You either think like, well, I gotta be the one girl, push all the other girls out of the way, like I'm gonna be one of the boys. But I think that that's not true. We can do whatever we want, and she's definitely taught me that like there is power in femininity, and you can like manipulate your femininity, but like use it. Like use it and use it to get what you want, and use it to get to that seat and like open up more seats in the room for girls, because like it's just such a cool thing. So definitely has made me more confident in being a girl.
Okay.
And more like male dominated spheres, because I mean the music industry is male dominated. It's all men, and she has totally come in and like in such a trailblazer for women, and the fact that like she can do it herself. I mean, she's like re-recording all her albums, like reclaiming her ownership. And I think that like us as girls, we gotta reclaim our power. Like it's time. So for sure.
Okay, so that's neat. And one of the things that I've really noticed is specifically the impact that Taylor Swift has had on girls in our sort of age group, in this college age group. I think that, you know, like people who are older than us, the like sort of like millennial type aren't as like engrossed. Maybe they're fans, but they're not completely like in this sort of like fandom, this Swiftie nation, you know? And then I also think that girls who are even younger than us are, you know, they're like, but there's so many new artists and, you know, different things they're going through. So what do you think it is that makes our generation connect to Swift so strongly?
I think it's helped that we got to grow up with her, but I also think that she was so ahead of her time with her lyrics that for like being in like Gen Z, like it's just something that we can relate to. And I also think that Gen Z's maybe more of like an emotional generation, and her songs are very, you know, connecting to one's like emotions. They're very introspective, and I think that that's like very Gen Z, is to just like kind of sit with your feelings, like think about it, and to not push them away. You know, I think a lot of the older generations are taught like push it away, worked, but we're kind of more conditioned to like utilize the emotions, put it into our work. And so I think that helps resonate. And I think also for college girls, we're at all of her songs right now are coming out, and they're about, you know, finding yourself at this age. She's re-recording songs from when she was literally 19 years old, which we all are. And so she's talking about these things that's like, you know, feeling used by boys, by society, like feeling insecure, you know, like feeling lost in such a transitional time. And while these are all coming out like right now as we're going through it, it's so cool to like pick up a song for the first time and be like, I literally felt like this a week ago, or I feel like this right now. So I think that there's just so much power in like the timeline of it. But I, you know, still be listening to her songs as like 70, but I definitely think that that's what it is, for sure. For sure.
Okay, and so how would you say that specifically like Taylor Swift has developed your confidence as a person?
I think not only can I like listen to her songs and walk around and just be like, yes, like I have an outlet that I can like relate to. But I think just seeing her in the media and constantly like taking all the negativity and making it power for herself, and power in individuality and power in like femininity, all of that, I think that that's just made me more confident, and it's made me realize that I have no control over life and over what other people think and over any challenge, but I do have control over how I react to it. And because she has reacted so well to like any challenge she's been thrown, like, and you know, I know celebrities are taught,
Yeah.
you know, media, how to like talk in the media, but she's, even when they call her like volatile, she's been like, yeah, I will be volatile because that's a human like emotion. And so I think that she's just normalized like sometimes not being okay, and I think that there's so much power in that. And so she's just made me feel so confident in the fact that like I am my own person. I am the only person who can tell me no. Like, what I want to do in life is up to me. Like, people can tell me no 100 times, but maybe the 101 person is the one who says yes. Like, if you give up, and it's just the fact that she has not given up and throughout all of this negativity. And I think that that has made me so confident because, like, I want to encompass that. I want to embody that. And so, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, this has been a wonderful interview. Ella, thank you so much for letting me ask you these questions. I think that you really helped me further understand how you not only, like, you really relate to the lyrics, and that's why you love Taylor Swift, but it's also you see her as such a person, and you've seen the kind of transitions that she can make, and so you just feel so connected to that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.